Alright, we're going to do a quick little show and tell how spawning in on the map will work. I already have a character created because I have to have them made for the sort of kingdoms. So, I'm sure everybody knows how to make a character. Once you get to here, there's only one spawn point. That's all the map's going to have for the season, because you'll only use this to start. You'll click spawn, random area, and you should wake up inside here. And then this page will show up. These are the different professions you can choose from. The blacksmith makes the weapons, metal things, etc. I've got them making the crossbows and warbows too, because if it comes to later seasons, we have enough people, we might make Fletchers their own thing, but the Fletcher wouldn't have that much, so I just rolled it into the blacksmith. Plus, it's all part of the Clifton bows. Leather worker makes all your saddles, leather armor, fur armor, ghillie armor, the accessories for the rat and the raccoon. I think there's 2 or 3 armors that the blacksmith can actually make because they're like actual war armor for the horse. Yeah, ceremonial horse armor, horse face armor, armored horse armor, light armor, and then the plate for the leopard. Got your shipwrights, the only people who should be making boats. Pay them, they'll make the boat, build on it, everything for you. They get the boat, the catamaran, fake sail, and large fake sail. The boat is the size of a raft. It's from my mod. It's got the ability to go backwards, and it goes forward like 1.5 speed of the boat, I want to say. The catamaran is from a different mod. It's the bigger boat. I think you can fit 4 or 5 foundations across it. Then we have the tinker, who's going to have the things involving gunpowder that we do have. So cannon, cannonball, climbing picks, grappling hooks, the glider suits, chitin armor, spyglass, spear bolt, the primitive fabricator, because he'll need that for some of his things, glider suit, chain bola. He makes the 2 carts for the one for the horses and one for regular animals. Still requires bobs, saltails. We can't get around that. That's just, it exists. That's the way it works. The wooden elevator stuff, because it still fits with the medieval fantasy season. Magnifying glass, traps, town bell, zip line, motor attachment. This is the main one that he needs the fabricator for. I think there's like 1 or 2 other things you can craft in the fabricator, but if you need it, he's the only one who can make it. Then we have the farmer / cook class. They get the tamed bees, box of chocolates, cauldron, beer keg, the BS cooking pot, BS barrel smoker, farmer's shed, which gives you a bunch of things. That whole mod is different. It does not require fertilizer and water and all that for the fields. You make the crop plot, you place it down, and you hoe it, and it works. But yeah. And then you get the apothecary. The apothecary gets the cauldron as well, because they need it for the healing potion. But they still will not have access to the chocolates. The chocolates have to be made in the cauldron, but only the cooking profession will have access to that part of the cauldron. Just like only the apothecary will have access to the healing potion, hair of the dog. which this is a potion that just wakes things up instantly. But because they both have access to the cauldron, they can both technically make kibble. But the apothecary will either have to find wild crops to do it, or buy their crops from the farmer. Because you need crops to make kibble, and the farmer's the only one who's going to have access to crop plots, unless they sell you a crop plot. What they do with the stuff they can make, I can't control. Well, I could, but I'm not going to. You know, money's universal. If you're a farmer and you want to sell somebody a crop plot so they can grow their own stuff, that's entirely up to you. Because the only thing I'm doing is restricting who can make said items. If I was a farmer, I wouldn't sell you a crop plot. I'd make you buy the crops from me. Well, I take that back. I do believe there's still the crop plots from my mod that you can use, but those require the fertilizer and water and all that. So you can go the hard route. But you won't get any of the special farmer things. These guys have access to the Clifton weapon amble. I'd prefer they not make arrows. I don't think they can, because I think they have to smelt and have the special iron they can't make. But they have that because it's needed to make the plague mask. I changed the ingredients for the plague mask so they could make it without the special stuff. But yeah, you just pick a class, like, for instance, Crunk will be... I'll change this based on who joins and how many we have of everything, but let's just say Crunk's going to be the blacksmith. So you're going to click that. Now, if you come in here, I've already done one level for a testing thing. All Ingrams are level 1 and should cost 1 point. Okay, some of them I missed, they cost 10 points. But you should be able to learn everything, basically, was the whole point of it. But these are all level 1, except for class Ingrams. Those are separated by class, so all the blacksmith Ingrams are locked behind level 200. You cannot learn them without being a blacksmith, and then they'll just auto-unlock. 300 is the leather worker. So you get all the Ingrams here. 400 is your shipwright. 500 is your tinkerer. 600 is your cook and farmer. 700 is your apothecary. Which I do believe the apothecary is the only one I made able to make narcotics. So if you want to tame something that you have to knock out, you're going to have to find an apothecary to make you some drugs for it. But once you pick that, you can go ahead and set up your level however you're going to want to do it. We'll just give this character generic 200 health. Let's say, let's go 50 fortitude. I did bump up how much you get for fortitude, just to make it slightly easier and not waste all your points. Because there is the killer snow and there is the heat waves in the desert. Stamina is nice. Stamina also affects the bows. I don't think it does anything for the crossbows, but I think it changes the damage you do with a bow from the Clifton's medieval RP. That is based on stamina, where the weapons are based on melee damage. And then because this is Crunk, I always like setting up my weight extremely high. We will say level, we'll say 600. And then we'll give me a little bit of melee damage, because I've got big arms. You know what? That all looks good to me. Base crafting is all you need. If there is a event or you explore a dungeon and manage to get a blueprint, because I will personally place treasures at the end of some of the dungeons. Or if we have events where it's, hey, first person to do this. But drops are turned off. There are no drops. But so crafting skill isn't needed for the most part, and if it is needed, I believe it's the apothecary has the ability to make the crafting potion, which is so that you can you drink it and all your levels turn into crafting skill for like a minute or 2 minutes or something like that. We'll look at that in a second, because this is going to be your base. This is what everybody can learn. So everybody can learn the spark powder, the mirror. I'll show you the mirror in just a second. Raven's Rook is a mail system. As long as you place it and name it, you can send mail to any other rook on the server. Flare gun I did not lock behind because I figured people use that to signal if they're at your house and that. We do have VS storage. The regular bow and the regular trank arrows and that can be made by you, but you can't make narcotics, so you still have to get narcotics from an apothecary. So you need your drug dealers. What else is in here? Just as a quick once over. We do have Clifton's wardrobe in here. Personally, I would not use the cartography table unless you really have to. It's an excellent idea, but it seems every time the server restarts, it glitches and spawns a map on top of it. All this does, though, is make it so that you can sync waypoints with your fellow tribe mates. So you can like save your waypoints from your map to that, and your tribe mates can go up to it, click it, and download your waypoints basically. Got the currency pouch, which can hold your money, so you don't have to hold it, because we do have simple trade on here, where you can sell stuff through the tables using my currency system with that. Placeable NPCs. As part of that, you can just put a person behind your table so that way it looks more lifelike. You can technically just craft NPCs and put people all over your area if you want. If you want to put things out and just name them guard and have them standing outside a castle, you can. Will they do anything? No. But RP purposes, you can always play that they're like the Royal English Royal Guard, I think it is, that aren't supposed to move regardless of what you do. You always see the TikToks and that of them. I think people are assholes because that's how they act towards them, but if that's what you want to do, you can do that. We do have the magic generator to charge anything that needs electricity. It does work as a tech gen. Not that anything needs tech power, but what else do we have in? The glider wings. If you're playing a character that you think should have wings and be able to glide, you can use these if they match your aesthetic. They should equip now to the attachment, or the what do they call those slots now? These slots. Accessories? They go over here. They don't actually take a slot over here anymore. pretty sure I changed them all to use your accessory slots, because that's new with Lost Colony, that we have accessories now. And now I lost my spots. So we'll just scroll down real quick until I see wings. Anything else in here? We are using Dino Geodes as your capture system. They work similar to cryopods. You do not need to charge them. I disabled that part of them. They do not care if you're by an enemy structure. And there is no cryo sickness. And these supposedly work with simple trade. I'm going to verify that again. But they supposedly work. But after you learn whatever you want to learn, or you can wait till you're out, you're going to come over here. Ooh, collect treasure. Hit E. Because that's all you'll be able to do on it. But the first time you go to it, because it'll only work one time per character, you will get a starter kit of a paintbrush, water, because you are in the desert right now and you may die of thirst, depending how long you take to do everything. Basic clothing, so you can suit your character up, and everybody will start with a pick and a hatchet. And 5 gold coins. From beyond that, you can use the crunk gear to craft what you want your clothing to look like. They all have fiber in them, so you can craft any skins you want that are in those. Any skins you want that are over here, there's resources in these. And then these mirrors. I like these mirrors. We have issues with them. We may have to get rid of them. I can't tell if the mod is still supported or not. It seems to still work fine, except for the tattoos they had. It says the back end's down. But using the mirrors, you can come in here, select the type of body you want. Like, say you want to be a furry creature. You can do this, and you can literally have fur on your skin. See how he's covered in fur now? Then you click here. I want to be a yellow monkey man. The gray has to do with the intensity of the light for some reason, because I have lights nearby. But there, I'm a green monkey man. You know, or you want to do something weird with your eyeballs. Like I made mine black with red insides. Or if you want to do markings. So let's say you want to stay a crunk looking like crunk. But you want to mix it up a little bit. You want some stripes. You can have stripes running over your body. And you can change the color of them stripes. I want blue stripes with a red body. All that's customizable. You know, birthmark. You can also just turn off the armor completely. You're supposed to be able to turn off the armor completely. Oh, there it went. Now it turned off. And then this is a birthmark. I don't know where it... Okay, so you got a mark on your back. Or you turn this one off. And now you got a mark on your arm. They're just birthmark options. Panther spots. You want to be spotted your whole body? You can do that. I mean, you want to play Khajiit, you could completely go like this. Say I want... Oh. Yellowish goldish fur. With orange panther spots. You could sit here until you had this exact... Why is that not working? Okay, I guess you can't change the color of the spots. I thought you could. Oh, you can. There it goes. But you can sit here until you get the colors you want. And you could be a Khajiit with hair. I mean, you can even come over here next, like the parts. And, because we're talking about Khajiits real quick. There you go. You got tail as part of your body. You will spawn with that tail. And you can change the color on it to match your body as closely or as unclosely as you want. And you will always spawn with this color in any parts you put on from this. They don't have any limbs added yet, but okay, you did that. And you're a cat. I guess wolf ears would probably be the closest. I don't know where wolf ears spawn. They spawn higher up on your head. Let me get rid of the hair. I guess it doesn't hide your regular ears, but it gives you cat ears as well. So you just have to pretend you don't have these little nubs on the side of your head anymore. Or you can totally do woolly rhino ears. Not that that looks very cat-like. The Daedon ears go where your normal ears are, but I don't think that would look very cat-like. You could call it Khajiit-like if you wanted. You could say that's just the way your ears are. But yeah, we have this to completely customize your character. I'm going to go back here, reload, Crunk. You can even change the size of your character if you want. Just don't get too crazy with it. Because I made General Ash as big as this would let me, and he could not walk through doors anymore. He was too big for doors. And you probably shouldn't shrink your character to the max. I don't know what the max is, but looks like 0.6 is as small as they'll let me go. If we did that and finalized, that's how big my character is now. That's a little bit small. I mean, I don't care if you make your character a little smaller than normal, because Crunk's already short, so this makes him shorter than usual. Like if you're playing a kid, but I mean, being the size of the table lamps, a little small. Unless you're playing a pixie. Maybe you're playing a pixie and that's like what size you should be. Then if you want, go right ahead. I mean, if you're playing a giant and it makes sense, and you're going to build your house so that you can do it, you can always go like this and go the opposite way, up to 1.5. Finalize. And remember, Crunk's short. So this is a tall Crunk. Crunk does not look very big. Crunk is not... Why am I crouched? Okay, me multiplying Crunk does weird things to his legs. He's not a good example for this. So you may want to use... Or actually here, I can give you a good example. Let me go back to the mirror. Show you a good example of maxing out a character. Because I can come back here. And while doing things... This is my admin character. Oh wait, it doesn't change my body configuration. Never mind. I thought that would change me back my body configurations. It does not, so... Guess it's a good thing I got 2 different characters for that. But anyways, you're literally bigger than a doorway usually. Crunk's just got weird proportions, so it does weird things when I use him to do it. Because it like flexes my knees really hard. But once you're done creating your character, or you just don't feel like being in here, because everybody's going to be in here at the same time, first day probably. Got the sign, welcome to FantasyRP, feel free to dress and get ready before departing to the faction of your choice. So, hopefully people don't harass each other in here, they just let you get ready, pretend nobody else is here. You should not see this. This is just a spawn point. I can only see it because I'm an admin. But once you're done, you'll come up here. And you'll pick either the Boris Kingdom or the Soka Empire. We're going to go to the Boris Kingdom first, just because that's the one I currently have set up better. Activate Crystal. This will port anybody that walks through it there. So if you don't want to go, make sure you change the portal before you walk through if somebody else did it first. You walk through. This is what's set up with the Boris Kingdom so far. Because I don't want to build everybody's houses. I don't want you to be forced to live in a house of my bad choice is. Oh, you also get a radio with your starter kit. I forgot to say that because it pops straight to my bar. But this is a castle. Up to your leader what they do with it. I have done nothing with it. It's just empty. It doesn't even have lights in it. I just built it more as like a landmarker. Up to you if you want to join the Burrs Kingdom. If you're going to be the leader, you need to be in the Burrs Kingdom because somebody has to be in it for these tribe items to work properly. I can't have empty tribes. It'll start to decay and stuff. But this is the Kingdom's ancient portal, which already has the ability to go to Soka or the Oasis. This over here is the factions crafting hall. It will have your basics in it. So it's got quality of life. So your basics. For crafting, you've got that. You've got a wardrobe. I don't like you standing out there. That's an enemy, by the way. There are human-shaped enemies. There's bandits, goblins, undead. Repair anvil, just because you may not have the thing you need to repair your item. So anything can be repaired in here. Problem being, your smith person is still going to have to sell you stuff. Because you'll need... Don't auto-open. There's bad guys out there. But you'll need their special ingots to do the job. We have a smithy salvage table, which allows you to destroy things for, I think I have it set to 70% of their crafting cost. Lots of forges for regular metal. Come over here, you can cook regular food. Can't cook anything good, but you can cook regular food. You have the complete setup for storage. Both factions have one, but this is faction storage. If you put stuff in here, don't get angry if other people in your faction are using it. because this has wireless crafting. As long as they are part of the main tribe, they will have access to it while within range. So if you want to work as one big group for your faction, great. You want to ally with your faction instead of actually being part of the faction, that works too, but it will make you slightly weaker in the long run, in my opinion. This is a restroom slash another place to get ready. I put another mirror here, just in case. Let's just say you do something at the main place and you don't like the way it looks. You got another mirror to change it. You can craft the mirror. This is a bunch of bedrooms, places to sleep until people start building or get set up. Just so you're not all over the place randomly. I think there's like 8 bedrooms here. But yeah, this is the Kingdom of Burris. And you're located map-wise at the top. In my opinion, I would say if you're part of the kingdom, you shouldn't be building anywhere other than like this island and maybe part of the highlands. If you're part of the kingdom in Burris and you're built like in the middle of the map, are you really part of the kingdom? Or are you hiding from RP and just doing your own thing? I mean, if you get permission from your king to build there, that's completely up to you. I'm not going to tell you no this time as to what you can and can't do. But be aware you may be considered a criminal if you're part of the kingdom in Burris and whoever's in charge of Burris says, no, I do not want anybody from my area building in, let's say, the desert. And you go build in the desert, you may be declared an outlaw of Burris. That's entirely up to your king, queen, leader, high council, whatever they decide to call themselves. Nobody's applied for the position of leader in either spot yet, so I have no idea what they want to be called. I'm not limiting either faction to specific races. That's another bad guy out there. Now he's shooting. I don't feel like dying right now. But, any race is welcome. How the leaders of the factions choose to treat certain races is entirely up to them. You know, if they're playing an elf, they may decide that elves are superior. All elves are noble, the rest of you are not. This is the Soka Empire. In my mind, this is more of a wandering nomadic tribe. That's why I called them Empire. For their crafting thing, let me just, because I don't have access to go inside right now because I have nobody to put in this tribe. So to show you things, I have to actually go into ghost mode in that. Oh, I thought GCM would make me faster. I've got to turn on fly too. But for their crafting hall, I can't go through the wall now. I hate that. Ghost on, ghost off. Their crafting hall is designed more like a Viking longhouse. So, as far as I'm aware, everything's same as far as what that you have access to. I mean, both of them have 4 forges. You have salvage table, smithy, repair. Both groups have full sets of VS, virtual storage. Their mirror, they've got a mirror here and that. Their hall is not as big, but I think their castle's bigger. Plus, it has a courtyard where the other one doesn't really. Got that there. Can't really open this, but this just has all your storage stuff inside. Climb up here. Probably need to build more lights for up here, but I didn't bother. But this is just 4 or 5 like little inn rooms I built up here for you to hide in. If your bathroom's out in the open, don't blame me. The only reason I made sure both things had this is because if you have somebody making narcotics, you can insta-spoil stacks of meat by putting it inside and then using the toilets, if you didn't know that. But this is their crafting hall. However, they want to set it up based on their people. And this recording's going way longer than I thought it would. Just going to show you what their castle looks like really quick before calling it a day. And this is allowed to. Everybody should be able to do this. As far as I know, this isn't disabled on the server. R.fog0 for when you can't see shit. But here's their portal. They have the ability to travel to the other kingdom and the oasis from here. This is the castle they have. It's smaller on the inside-ish, but they also have a courtyard. And I honestly just like this castle. I think it looks cool. I did not skin it. I figured I'd leave that up to them. I got this castle from the template site where you can just download templates and build it with the hammer. They had it using the Lost Colony thing, which looks a little too futuristic for me. This tribe does not have goblins sitting at their doorstep. They're lucky there. Instead, you have these guys who are annoying. And you have these guys who are annoying. So you both have enemies right within your areas. But that's up to you. You could build plant species X plants and just attack them that way. Or walls. That's entirely up to you how you want to defend your kingdoms. This empire is located on this island over here. I would say in my opinion, because like I said, it's up to them. It's up to your leader if you want to build way over here and be part of this kingdom, even though you'd be closer to Burris. If your king allows it, or a leader, that's your choice. I would say that I'd consider Soka to be all of this big thing here. They've got a big island. All the swamplands right here, I'd probably say are part of it, along with these little islands down here. But, like I said, that's up to your king. I mean, you're right here, so technically, I'd say the remnants of this castle would be part of it. If you have somebody that wanted to come over here and deal with there anything in here? I know one of these castles is just filled with spiders and bats. This one doesn't look bad. You might... Oh, this one's filled with cats that want to rip my face off. So you'd have to be careful of the cats here. Because some cats are nice. Like that one you could tame. But these ones want to rip my face off. And as far as I'm aware, there's nothing you can do if they want to rip your face off. Besides kill them. So this is one's probably going to be filled with cats. I know one of the caves I looked at while checking out the island was filled with bats and spiders. So yeah, if you had somebody that wanted to tame this and deal with leeches and them guys right there, which you cannot tame them. These guys are non-tameable for the season. They're cool, but they're not tameable. There's capros and that around here too. You can tame capros. I did not disable them. But yeah, this is the island where that's at. This wasn't even part of the old Ragnarok, so neither island that has the actual home base of the kingdoms on it was part of Ragnarok eventually. Like I said, both of their teleporters were to get to the oasis, which is right over here. I'm just going to fly there because that teleporter needs to be set up still for public use. I have not done that because I don't have a character in that tribe. But the oasis is located over here in the desert, which is a neutral hub. So no, your player cannot be part of the oasis. This is where events and that will happen. But this is the oasis. The oasis also has magic surrounding it. Basically, something I did with a mod. You cannot be attacked. Well, you can be attacked and you can attack, but you cannot take damage here, and creatures should not target you while within the oasis bounds. This is an example of the size of the boat you can build with the catarams. I want to say it's 5 foundations across, 5 foundations back, and then you can do 3 ceilings to each side if you wanted. So this boat could technically be wider. I don't know why my graphics do that. There's nothing there. I don't know why the water's funky looking. But yeah, you'll come out right here if you use one of the gates to come here. Welcome to the oasis. These are the oasis guards. As far as I'm aware, they're on passive. They shouldn't do anything. They're just there for looks. But you come up here, and you have the oasis bank with bank tellers. These are those NPCs. Like I said, you can make them and dress them in your own bases if you want. This is where you can exchange money. So you can turn your 5 gold into 500 copper if you wanted to. Or, you know, 20 silver, 2 gold, 10 copper. So that you have a little bit of everything. This is where you'll make money. You'll have to... Oh, well, this part doesn't do anything. This part shouldn't exist. I did not unlock that yet. But, yeah, you can bring 4,000 obsidian to get a gold, 10,000 wood, 10,000 stone, 500 sap, 1,000 pelt, 1,000 pearls. I mean, it seems like a lot, but at the same time, I want gold to have a meaning. I want copper to have a meaning. 1 gold is the equivalent of 10 silver or 100 copper. So if I made this with like 500 metal for gold, who would ever use silver or copper? Because that would mean 1 punch for 5 pieces of metal is a copper. As this is, we're saying 50 pieces of metal is worth a copper. So about 25 ingots is worth a copper. So copper has value there. In my mind, that's the way I'm looking at it when I was trying to figure out these prices. If this economy doesn't work, I can change all this. This is all entirely changeable. Tributes. A lot of these creatures aren't on here, so it doesn't matter what it says. So gigas aren't on here. I thought I changed that. Huh. I'm going to have to go and look. Because I could have swore I went through and changed each and every one of these crafting recipes. I thought I reduced them. It looks like some of them are reduced, but I think it reduced the wrong ones. I may have to look at that later. I thought I changed it. Does this all look right? 4,000, 10,000, 10,000, 500 sap, 1,000 pelt, 1,000 pearls, 2,000 oil. That seems a little low, but at the same time, you have to shear the sheep. You would literally have to shear them. Because there is no, like, generator you can use to get it now. Seems right. It's the only one that seems off. Because that would mean that 100 hide would be 1 copper, but at the same time you can get tons of hide depending on which creature you're using in that. So, and then these I can always make during the season if we decide, hey, we want to sell such and such an item. But yeah, you have that. You know, back there's the treasure vault. If you could break in there and get some of that treasure, but you can't. On the other side, we have the Oasis shop. It'll have items from the admins for sale. So if for whatever reason we decide, okay, here's an example, because they're not on the map. I didn't add them to the map. But they sometimes work rather well for gathering. Say we wanted to sell Ravagers. They'd get added to the shop. For right now, the only thing General Ash is selling is the spray painter for 10 gold. Because it's simply a cosmetic thing. If we decide other items need to be sold there, we'll do it. If I decide, hey, we don't have enough farmers making kibble, maybe General Ash will sell kibble. But that is the Oasis. And I think that's where we're going to leave it. As of right now, we are looking at... If I could pull up my calendar. I'm looking at the end of the month still for release. So about a week maybe, because I have the last weekend off. So by next week, if we have enough people signed up in that, I plan on opening the server. I'm hoping Wildcard releases their patch with their VoIP before then. If not, we might have to struggle with VoIP for a little while, or I may have to add provolone cheese, the Bravo mod, because I do not have a TeamSpeak server to use the other mod, that, and I have no clue how you set up the other mod. I can't find any instructions for it. So, and from my understanding, that mod was made specifically for a different server, so they're kind of don't want to help other servers, is what I was told by certain people. Don't know if that's true or not. That's just hearsay. But yeah, I know Provolone or Provo you're supposed to be able to use for anybody. You just have to rely on Darkside's backend. So it's hit or miss, is what I was told. But they just did a test for the VoIP and ARC, and they are supposed to be switching to Discord backend. So you'll sync your Discord ID, I think. So as long as you have Discord, it should work. But there's no release date for that yet. They did a test. Supposedly the test went well, so I'm hoping it releases by then. So yeah, if you have any interest on playing, you know how to get to the Discord. I'll leave a link below for this video. This video is going to be posted in the Discord to give people a general idea of how the login and that's going to work, because I changed some things. But yeah, the video's already gone longer than I wanted it to, so hope to see some of you on the server when we start, or come join the Discord for more information. Thank you.